Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. I'm just trying to get everything set up, make sure the video is working, make sure you can see everything in the frame. Yeah, I don't know. Got some interesting things to show you today, and I'm hoping that Noah, the puppy behind me, falls asleep very soon here and lets us do everything uninterrupted. So give people a minute to find me here and we'll get started. Oh, goodness, lots of moving around, but not much better in terms of what you can see. Let me try it this way. Yes. Okay. So we'll work on getting started here. If you're here, leave a comment. Let me know that you've shown up and have found me. We are still in this couple of week no man's land kind of my being on daylight saving time and you still being on daylight saving time in North America, which makes it hard maybe for some of you to find me, but in a couple weeks we'll be back to regular time in North America, in most parts, unless you're in Arizona. Okay, I'm going to get started. Noah is not settled, but hopefully he won't disturb us and he'll settle soon, or I'll have to interrupt and go try to settle him down for a minute. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make some neat backgrounds using some of our clear window sheet. This is something that I've just seen over on the demonstrator planning place, is how to use clear window sheet. This is our acetate window sheet and our Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol ink, and then isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to make backgrounds. And I'll show you a couple that I have made already, and then we'll work through and make some together. So these two cards I made yesterday when I was trying out the technique. This is one, and this is the other. And I did this based on Susanna Ballas. I believe she is a demonstrator out of Germany, or maybe Austria. Anyway, her blog and her videos are in German, but thanks to Google Chrome, they translate the blog instantly, and that's a nice thing. But so you can see this is like watercolor smooshing that we've done before, but this one's using alcohol inks, and you transfer the ink onto our acetate window sheets, and then so that's transferred onto the back side, and then when it was dry, which happens very quickly with this alcohol, I used StazOn to stamp on top on this one. This one I didn't over stamp it. I just added sentiments, and you'll see how then we attach everything. So I'm going to set those aside. Here's a piece that I also did yesterday when I was playing, and I did things slightly differently on this one. That's the back side. This is the front side. So if we have time, we'll make that one up into that card. But here is some info. I'm sorry, just checking on Noah and what he's getting into. She used what she said was 99.9% pure isopropyl alcohol. I haven't seen it in the US, but I'm sure you can get it. In the US, I know it's very common in the drugstores to have either 70% or 90%. And if you're doing drugstore, I would go for the 90%. Here in Australia, you can't buy 70 or 90% alcohol in a drugstore or grocery store. What you get is this Isocol, which has isopropyl alcohol, but it's got some other stuff in it too. it doesn't say, it says contains 640 milliliters, so it's probably about 64%. But it's got some other stuff in it too, and I put some of that into one of our spritzers, and we'll give that a try today. I tried it yesterday, but I think I had too much. But at the local electronics store, kind of like an old, what we had, a Radio Shack, here it's called J-Car. I did find months and months ago, so I happen to have it on hand when I saw this week. This is 99.8% pure isopropyl alcohol, and it's got its own handy dandy spray top. And this worked a treat. So let me show you how it goes. Like I said, in the US, I would definitely go for the 90% isopropyl alcohol, and that should work. It'll just take an extra minute or two of drying time. So she recommends 3 colors of dark colors of Stampin' Blends, and from my playing around yesterday, I would agree with that. And you can do 1 color, 2 color, 3 colors all at once. I like to start out with all 3 and kind of get a sense of how they interplay. And I've just taken my largest acrylic block and I'm just scribbling on it. And I'll do some of that there, some of that there. And I've got a piece, I've pre-cut this in centimeters. It's 9.5 by 13.9. In inches, that would be the equivalent of 3.75 by 5 inches for layering. And now I'm going to spritz it with the 99.8% alcohol. And you can see it beads up. This is not too dissimilar when we do things with re-inker or markers and water. And now we're going to just lay that on there and see how it lifts up. And you can do multiple times and put it wherever you want. You get various effects. It dries, this 99% alcohol dries really quickly. Yeah, he's trying to eat my baseboards. Give it another spritz here because it has dried. And I found it useful to have, this is just a scrap piece of Whisper White because it's really kind of hard to see what you got going if you don't. And at any point I can clean this off and start fresh, but I still feel like I've got some good ink on here. So I'm looking for kind of texture and pattern, and I'll show you some other ways to amp it up a bit. I'm definitely going to let that dry a little bit. I think I will clear it off now. And it cleans right off with alcohol. But I am going to add some more on there. Do some more. This is Pretty Peacock, and then it was Night of Navy and Mossy Meadow. I'm just going to add some more Pretty Peacock in places. That's pretty good. I see I've got this one. I think I'm liking that. So let's leave that to dry a moment and clean off the block. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I like all of that. Excuse me 1 minute. Sorry about that, folks. He's destroying things in here. Noah, 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 come here. And I would have Glenn take him, but Glenn's in and doing some kind of interview. So he and I will have to work out a better schedule on Wednesday mornings. So I like that. I'm going to set that aside. That's the uninked side up, and that's the ink side. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I'm going to do another one here. See how we go. I really liked this color combo, which is pumpkin pie and both colors of cherry cobbler. So we'll get some of that going again. I'm wondering what other color. Maybe some mango melody with this. See how that works. That may wind up being too light a color. Let's try it with some isocol this time. This is again the isopropyl alcohol. I think it's probably, if I can do my math right, it says 640 milliliters per liter of isopropyl alcohol. So I think that's about 64%, which is lower than what you would get in the US, and certainly lower than this one. But you can see already it doesn't make it bleed up so much, and it's going to take longer to dry, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's not as nice an effect. I can tell already. So I'm going to add some of the, see that? It bubbles it up. That's going to work better, I think. Again, keeping an eye on this puppy, who is a lot of fun, but also a lot of work. And we'll add some more there. And there. We're going to give that a minute to dry. It's kind of like making tie-dye for backgrounds. I see somebody else has joined me. Feel free to say hello. I am doing, using our alcohol ink Stamp and Blend markers onto an acrylic block and spraying them with isopropyl alcohol. In this case, it is 99% alcohol, which I got at my local electronics store. Imagine it's used for cleaning electronic components, you know, like inside computers. And then picking up the ink with pieces of our window sheet acetate and letting it dry. Oh, that's going to be just nice. And that's my dog Noah in the background. Seeing eye dog puppy in training. He was supposed to be napping now. He obviously doesn't follow directions very well yet, but we'll get there. And yeah, let me let that set and dry for a minute. And I will be right back with you as I try to settle him down. He's got a treat filled with kibble. If he's not sleeping, that's supposed to keep him happy, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's put this on here and see. I like that. So one of the other things you can do, and I'll do it just to show you what happens. I do really like that. But if you spray some of this on there directly, it will change it again a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna really like that too. I love this kind of stuff. I don't know about you. I'm gonna clean off the block. Again, you just spray it with some more of the alcohol and the ink wipes right off. Oh my goodness. Noah. So, there we go. That should be pretty dry. Ooh, look how cool that is. I'm loving this. Okay, so I'm going to set it aside now, set my block aside, and we'll make some cards. Yeah. So now the only thing is to choose how to assemble them. Let's make sure that's dry. Now I can stamp over this as I did on this one with something, or I can just put things on there, which is probably what I'll do. I'm going to look at this one also. This is the first one I made today. That one maybe should go horizontally. Whoops, he's chewing up my box again. No, no, Yeah, I'm having to totally rearrange my whole house actually, because he's just into everything that's within reach, which is bad. So there's that, and I think this one will go on maybe more like that. And now I have to decide how to decorate them. So let's see here. You know what? I think I'm going to walk through making the background step one more time, and then I will show you on the blog how I finish them off, because I'm being too distracted with this dog not sleeping. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can hear me moving everything that's under my cutting table. If you could possibly reach. He is on a tether, but and it's only about a yard long or a meter long, but there's just too much stuff for him to get into on that length. Okay, so I'm going to bring the block back in. I've got another, where's my small piece of acetate? Of course. Here it is. Okay. So what color combo should we do now? Let's do some purples. Maybe. Magenta. just do in colors. There we go. So we've got Misty Moonlight, Just Jade, and Magenta Madness. Yes, Noah, I hear you. You're fine. I'm right here. And we'll get some alcohol on that and start pressing this in. Yeah, you're fine. I know, I know. You were gonna make it hard for people to watch this video, silly, and this is a cool technique. Okay, that's plenty of the magenta on there to get some other colors going. See, now he's twisted himself around some table legs, so that's why he's upset. So we will get him out of there in just a moment. Here, there, now you're untwisted. That's pretty cool. Do some of the Just Jade. So I think maybe single colors is the way to go. Now, I'm going to try again. I did this a little bit yesterday on this piece, and I think it's worth trying here because I'm really trying to target putting some of this on in some places. So what happens if we do that and let that dry a little bit? So, and that may be the best way yet. We could try that on a bigger piece. Wait for this to dry. And I apologize if you find it really distressing to hear him whining. He is fine. He is not straining on his tether. It's not pulling on his collar. He's just overtired and wanting me to be down there on the ground with him. And it's just not time for that right now. So, yes, I know. So, I'm going to go back to this original color set, I think, and see how we go. We're just scribbling some various places. This is an experiment. And I have a lot of small offcuts that I could use to experiment with, which is what you might choose to do as you're getting started, but I've got a pretty good feeling about this. I'm being completely random. And just because I'm going to do a lot of spraying, I'm going to put this down, move this one out of the way. And let's see how we go. think it's going to take even more. And it's going to need to dry a little bit to add more. So give it a minute. You guys can stick around as much or as little as you want for this. Like I said, this is a total experiment. I can see why she did it on the block. Let's get that clean, maybe. Maybe we'll do a hybrid. So there's, you can see it needs more. So we'll keep going. And the question becomes, when are you picking up versus leaving behind? So we'll see here. And what was the other color I was using? This one. Yeah, so you'll have to experiment and see what works best for you. It's going to take some trial and error, I think. But if you keep working it, eventually you get what you like. Ah, he's asleep. This is good. So we can keep going a bit. Look and see. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good to play with. A lot of times these things you don't really know if you like them or not till you actually make them into something. So, okay, let's give it a try here. He's quiet because he's now finally asleep. So let me just clean this block off again. See if the Isocol works well enough for that. Oh, I can tell there's other stuff in there because it's perfumed. It's not a bad smell, but it's not straight alcohol. Yep, that works well for cleaning, which is good. So I don't have to use my other stuff. For that, put that aside. Get rid of that. And that. Okay. Oh, I was going to take another look at this one. Yeah, I think we got some usable stuff for that. This one, I thought I might make into, which section do I like more? Go on to a little 3x3 note card. So get rid of that bit. Keep that bit. Put that on there. figure out something to put on it. Maybe this little for you. Paper here. So anyone who's made it this far, congratulations and thank you for sticking with me. Adventures of Stampin' with a Puppy. And I used, for this one I used the Magenta Madness, the Just Jade, and the Misty Moonlight. But I think I'm going to pull out that, which I think is closer to Blackberry Bliss. Let's see here. I'll do a little test. There. Yeah. Okay. And this is out of the So Sentimental stamp set, which I find really useful. And it works, coordinates really well. Is designed to work with this Stitch So Sweetly. It was sold as a bundle. I think maybe it is still sold as a bundle in this current annual catalog. And that's going to be just right on there. I'm going to run that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just getting it lined up. So, and I think it needs a little more, but I think, what do you think? Might that be a little too much on this little bitty thing? So I think what I will do is cut a scrap. Cut another one. Piece of scrap. Of Magenta Madness. And I cut it in half lengthwise. What did I do with the one that I said was too big? I left it right there. And some little dots of glue. We're gonna frame this up here. Wow. Yeah. I think we'll do this one and I'll do the rest off camera and do a ta-da reveal on my blog post later on. Put the glue back on that one. This way again. So your eye and your brain actually do a pretty good job of fooling themselves, especially if I get it lined up right. Wow, wow, wow. There we go. Put that on there. Use a couple of dimensionals. And put it where I want it on the window sheet piece. And then on the back where that is, I take some tear and tape. And please say hello if you have joined me. There's Roseanne. Keep that all back behind that bit there. And believe it or not, just that little bit there will be enough to hold it on the card. So this would be for like just a little gift enclosure. These are not mailable on their own, either in Australia or in North America. I don't know any place something this small would be mailable, but it's a great little gift enclosure. So there's one. And shall we attempt another? Why not? This one, let's see what we might put on there. Oh, you love the Noah noise. I'm glad somebody does. I'm expecting to hear from our neighbors that he's too loud when he gets going in the morning, or that he cries too much during the day since we're all at home all the time still. But we'll take what we get, right? We are having fewer restrictions. We can now we can now go up to 25 kilometers radius of our home. Woo! This says, your friendship is a blessing. This is out of, again, So Sentimental. And sorry, I can't see what's right in front of me anymore. I have been up with him since 5 this morning, and it's currently 10:40. So I am a little bleary-eyed. But fortunately, even though I was awake on and off during the night, that was the only time I actually had to get up with him. Glenn got up with him before then. Just looking to see which. So that one works, and I know this one works. Friendship is a blessing. Does that work in this smaller one? It just does. So I could do it like this one. Choices. There we go. We'll do this because I can't think too hard today. guy keeps moving around on me. Yeah, we've been splitting up the nights into first and second shift. And Glenn's understanding of what that is is evolving as I explain it to him. So, yeah. You know, it's hard for me to argue that he shouldn't get priority on some sleep because he is working for pay and supporting us in this lifestyle. But, he recognizes that I do need sleep too. So that's good. I'm just finding an appropriately sized piece of black. I think I can squeeze it out of this one. Nope. This one. And running it through the machine. Not so happy with that in the end. I can't quite figure out. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So you know what? I'm going to bring in what I've done, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to probably go grab a nap while he's napping, and I will show you the finished results on the blog. So this one has similar colors, but I put in some Mango Melody in this one, and this one was just 2 shades of Cherry Cobbler, the dark and the light, and Pumpkin Pie. This one is dark Pumpkin Pie, dark Cherry Cobbler, and dark Mango Melody. But I'll list all these on the blog. How's that? And not take up all this time. So that's what I've got for you. Oh, here's another piece I did. Get that made into something. This is one of those I can see I'm just going to play and play and play and have lots of these and then have to spend some time figuring out how to actually use them. There's another piece that I did. So thanks for joining me in my chaos today, and they will get made into things and posted on the blog. Maybe not all for tomorrow's blog, but soon. These look like water to me, so I may have to come up with something more watery for them. Yeah, so I hope you have a great day, and that you give this a try. You don't need to have a lot of blends. You just need to have 3 dark colors that go together and some really high percentage isopropyl alcohol. Like I said, if you're in Australia, this one is available through JCAR, and I imagine you can get it other places too. In Australia, Isocol, it worked okay. It doesn't really have enough alcohol, so you probably have to track down a different source. In the US, I would think at the drugstore, if you can find the 90% rubbing alcohol instead of the 70%, you'll do better. 70% might work, but the 90% is going to be much better, I think. Or go to an electronics store, like I know in Arizona there's Fry Electronics. They probably have this, or look it up online. You can probably get it through Amazon. I don't even know. But it's, the 99.8, 99.9% works really well, dries really quickly, and is what I use to get my good results here. So yeah, that's it. I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Remember, in the US, once your clocks change on November 1st, I'll switch back to my regular time. If you've changed times, then my broadcast time will change back again. But I will remind you closer to the time. So have a great week, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.